Welcome back to Flow Fanatic. We're on a 25-day journey solving 25 different Salesforce challenges with flows. Before we get started, if you haven't signed up for our daily challenges or subscribed to our YouTube channel, go ahead and click the links below. Let's go ahead and dive into the solution to yesterday's challenge. Yesterday's challenge was around simplifying the lead creation process. What this effectively looks like is we're going to create a screen flow, and we're going to add that screen flow to the utility bar, which is going to allow us to really easily and nicely create leads right from the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. And I can just quickly show you what that looks like. So if you remember what we're doing here, if we go into the Sales app, come and click on Sales, and in order to streamline the lead creation process, we have this new lead utility bar. Come in here, we can specify the owner, we can specify a first name, a last name, an email, etc. And we can actually choose the owner on record creation as opposed to having to save the lead. And then if we want to transfer it to someone else, we need to then go pull up the record again and make that change. Now we can do it all on one page and really nice. It's right here in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. So we're going to walk through building that today. So we're going to start by coming over to the gear icon. We're going to click on setup, and we're going to start by building that screen flow. So we'll come into quick find, we'll search for flow, click on flows. We're going to click on new flow. We're going to create a screen flow. We'll do auto layout. All right, so there's two steps to this, okay? Number one, we need a screen component, right? We need a user to be able to interact with the screen and enter key details about the lead. And then we need a create record element, which is actually going to take the data that we provide on that screen and create a record in the database. So let's start off with the screen component. Click on plus, screen. Let's go ahead and call this lead intake screen. All right, so let's think about what are the things that we need on this screen. We want a drop down to select the owner. We want the first name of the lead. We want the last name of the lead. We need an email and a company. Okay, so those are 5 different fields. So the first one, we said we're going to do a pick list. Let's go ahead and throw a pick list on there. All right, so then we're going to add a text box for the first name, a text box for the last name, and then we're going to go ahead and use the email for the email, and then the final one is the company. So let's go ahead and do text. All right, great. So pick list, first one, let's call this owner. All right, so we need to enter the choice. We'll come in here. We need to basically specify when we click on that pick list, what are our options going to be? Okay, click on new resource. We're going to select record choice set. So we want Salesforce to return a list of all the records, all the user records that meet certain criteria. So we're going to call this active users. And look for the user object. Okay, and then we're going to say is active. All right, we're going to come down here and we're going to say we only want the users where is active is true. Okay, and then we want to show their name, their full name, and we're going to store the ID fields of that user because that's what we're then going to use to set the user or set the owner on creation. Okay, so we'll go ahead and click done. All right, so we have first name here, we have last name, we have email, and then we have company. All right, let's go ahead and click done. Let's go ahead and click save. Let's call this lead create. Let's call this lead create screen flow. All right, let's go ahead and hit activate and debug. Let's go ahead and run this. All right, cool. So let's see. All right, we want to get rid of this header up here, but overall things look pretty good. We may want to be a little more specific, not just including active users, but maybe a specific profile, or they have to have a certain checkbox on their user record, something like that. We can enter a first name, a last name, an email. Great. All right, so our next step is, well, we've just entered all that data. Now we want to create a lead record in Salesforce. So, all right, so we're going to go ahead and click on plus, and we're ready to. Let's go ahead and enter create lead record. All right, we're going to use separate resources and literal values. Let's look for the lead object here, right? So we're telling Salesforce what object do we want to create a record of, and then what are we going to set those values to? Well, we want to set the first name equal to first name. We want to set the last name on the user record equal to the last name. We want to set the email equal to the email value. We want to set the company equal to the company. And then finally, we want to set the owner ID equal to the owner. All right, go ahead and click done. Save as, click save, click activate. All right, so let's go ahead and just run through this really quickly. We'll go ahead and click on debug, just make sure it's working. All right, so we have Alex selected as the owner, Bob Schwartz, bob@aol.com, and a company of ABC. Let's click next. All right, great. We can see the lead record was created. And just to confirm, we can come back into Salesforce, refresh, bob@aol.com. All right, great. We can see this lead was created at 9:50. It's 12:50 right now. There's a 3-hour gap because this org must be set to PST and I'm in EST, but overall looks great. So let's go ahead and now add this down in the utility bar. So we can obviously, so let's go ahead and add this now down into the utility bar. Let's click on the gear icon and setup. We're gonna come over here to quick find. We're gonna look for app manager. An app manager. All right, so we're going to come in here. All right, so we're going to come in here and we're going to look for sales. Click on this drop down, click edit, click on utility items. We're going to add a utility item. We're going to look for our flow that we just created. And let's actually go ahead and call this lead, new lead. We'll go ahead and scroll down. We're going to select the flow. Lead create screen flow. We'll click save. All right, we're going to come back into Salesforce. And click on new lead. And there we go. So we can specify Alex Fram, company. We'll click next. Right, and just to confirm that was created. There we go. So that's it for yesterday's challenge. Hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot them my way.